Hello, hello. I am Ben Pick, and thank you for joining me in Running to Write, where I used to give questionable writing advice through running metaphors, but have since switched over to hosting productivity sprints as I work on finishing my fourth novel. I've gone through it a few times. I've gotten feedback from the first from the first professional editor, who was the developmental editor, and I will be sending what I have away to the copy editor at the end of this month. So along the way, I am working to do a complete iteration of working through and editing my entire manuscript. I am right now in chapter 15, going through about two chapters a day, and I am on track to get through chapter 41 by the end of this month. We are at the start. This is April 6th, apparently, and I have just shy of 3 weeks. Yeah, just shy of 3 weeks. So that math is more or less all right. And yeah, this is going pretty interesting. With that in mind, I don't know, not much else going on in my life. This weekend was pretty relaxing. Let me see here. Oh, right. In terms of good stories, I guess I owe my wife an apology. She was trying to find shows that we could watch together, and I vetoed a lot of her suggestions. But one of the ones that she did mention was Shrinking, which is a Jason Segel story where he is one of three psychiatrists, and at a practice, it's got Harrison Ford, him, and a bunch of other famous people. A lot of Scrubs people have sort of come and gone in cameos, and it's really about how we heal after significant incidences. So where the episode one picks up, Jason Segel's wife had died in a tragic car accident with a drunk driver, and so he's kind of reconciling with that, even though it's been like a year or so, and he still is down in the dumps. And then he has a teenage daughter who's in high school, and there's really a lot of emotions. This is by the same producers as um the soccer show. Uh Fair enough. They're therapists, but I don't think they're psychiatrists. That makes sense. That makes sense. You're right. And what am I thinking of? I'm drawing a blank. The soccer TV show where it's all about being positive and um what's the guy's name? Ted something? Brett Goldstein is the writer for both, yeah. And a couple of the actors actually cross over from that one into here, even though they're playing different people. I mean, Roy Kent is still Roy Kent, whatever he is, even though it's not his real name. It's a very heartwarming show. There's a lot of great moments in there, and there's for as dark as the show can get, there is a lot of humor. Ted Lasso, thank you. Ted Lasso is what I was thinking of. And yeah, this is similar but completely different is the best way I can put it. Where you'll even for as dark as the show gets, you'll still leave it with a smile on your face. And like I said, they take some of the characters through very dark places, but they do ultimately see the light at the end of the tunnel. There are some moments where they do their own self-destructive patterns and fall into various old habits, but overall, the show is kind of a feel-good show, despite being around a family and the community around them getting over the premature death of their loved one. So as dark as it sounds, it is really funny. But we finished that. There's 3 seasons now. It still is ongoing, so it kind of ended on a semi cliffhanger in season 3, and so we finally, I guess not really that bad. It's only been a couple of weeks, but we started watching One Piece season 2, and the first episode of season 2 was fantastic. It's the crew going to Logetown, and now they are approaching Reverse Mountain, where they are then going to go to the Grand Line officially. And I'm really excited. I've been so thrilled for this. I kind of know. I mean, I know what happens in the story because I read the manga but there are massive blank spots in my knowledge of One Piece because I didn't really read the first couple of arcs. I kind of watched the show a little bit, but the show itself was a horrible dub by 4Kids, the TV channel 4Kids, where they did all kinds of really stupid things. One of the guys is Sanji, and he is like he's a chef, and he's constantly smoking a cigarette. And so they made that instead to be a lollipop. And one of the characters they introduced in season 2 is Smoker, and in the anime, he's constantly just smoking 2 cigars at the same time. He's got very distinctive personality, distinctive characteristics, both physical and um, emotional, I guess. And the 4Kids dub removed the cigars from his mouth. And so it was just more and more smoke, which is really dumb. But looking back on it, it's kind of funny because American cartoons shows, which 4Kids TV was primarily promoted as, instead of anime. And they had to kind of jump through hoops. It was the same thing with the old Spider-Man TV show, like one of the originals, not the Spider-Man and Friends, but the 90s version, which was fantastic and did the multiverse first. That was one of my foundational TV shows as a kid. It was that and the X-Men. And Spider-Man couldn't actually punch anybody, so he does a lot of kicking and a lot of webbing. But yeah, so we started season 2, and I'm really excited to just keep going with it because, like I said, I know what happens, but I don't know how the characters. I know the Clip Notes versions of what happens, but I don't know the specifics, which will be really fun to watch it play out in live action, which is already kind of a condensed version of the manga and the anime in a way which tries to get to the core of the character moments and the plot beats and get over those emotional uh, highs and lows without necessarily going through everything. So it does kind of lower the peaks and the troughs. So the highs don't hit quite as high as they did in the first season, from what I know, and the lows don't hit quite as low, but it still is fantastic all around. And I'm really excited because I do, or for over a year now, I've been watching like all these teaser things about it. So I've been getting like amped up, and then there's all the memes on the internet. Obviously, I'm not going to avoid them, and so I kind of see the memification of a show. So I already know what's coming in addition to knowing already what's coming, but it's really exciting to watch it all unfold. With that in mind, we're here for productivity sprints, and I'm just, talking. So I'm going to get started on my productivity sprints. I'm working on chapter 15, and hopefully I can finish that chapter in this first sprint. And then I can work on 16 and 17 in the next ones. I don't remember how long these chapters are. I know that when we get into the chapters 25 or so, the next 10 are relatively short. But I think leading up to that, these are fairly long chapters. So I might not be able to finish chapter 15 during this first sprint. All that being said, I will see you all on the other side of 30 minutes. Hello, hello, and welcome back from the first sprint. I hope everything went well for you all in whatever you're working on. I did finish chapter 16, and I'm about a third. Sorry, I finished chapter 15, and I started on chapter 16. I'm about a third of the way through it. So, really productive. And yeah, Monday is starting off well, I guess. Hmm. And yeah, so we're Richard. Hey, thank you for joining us. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope your week is starting off well. Adriana, I um yeah, so we were discussing replacing the 30-minute sprint with Boone, who would look very similar to Rufus, who is the current star of our 30 and 20-minute countdown timers. Boone is a little bit different, where Rufus definitely does the plot not very well. Although in the 20-minute thing, he's very sprawled out, whereas Boone is sprawled out and like slowly takes over more and more of the couch. So he'll either start off in one position and do, a complete 180 and face a different way 10, 15 minutes later, or he'll face one direction and then slowly go further and further as he's trying to get deeper and deeper into the couch cushions. Oh, I guess my dog can hear me and is excited to hear me. Even though normally when I come down the stairs from my office upstairs, he just blatantly ignores me as I, give him ear scratches and pet him and whatnot. So all the fun things. And I don't really have anything else worth discussing. This week is going to be hopefully pretty relaxing with work. Today didn't start off too bad. And this weekend is looking to be relatively low key. I don't have anything major planned. And yeah, should be kind of easy, which would be nice because I am looking forward to relaxing. Actually, next few weekends look pretty chill. I don't have any. Well, yeah, I don't have any significant plans coming up. There are a few other ones. A few things long term. Adriana's got some stuff going on, but my weekend should be pretty lazy for the next few weeks, which is fantastic. I am looking forward to sleeping in and playing video games and writing and just being lazy all around. That's what I'm looking forward to. But with that in mind, I don't think there's anything else going on. And so let's get started on sprint number 2. I will see you all in 20 minutes. And welcome back, everyone. I did not finish chapter 16. I got held up on some stuff, and I realized I wanted to make a change earlier, so I went back and tried to reconcile that. I'm about, we'll say we'll round down, halfway done with this chapter, and hopefully I will get started on chapter 17. Finish this chapter, start on chapter 17 in the next sprint. I don't have a lot going on. Let's see here. Yep. It is my cue, Richard. I'm definitely going to be watching Project Hail Mary. Not going to go see it in theaters though. That is one of the upcoming movies and books for scripting the book. Not this month. This month is Wicked Part 2. I think it's next month's book/movie. And so, yeah, it's on scripting the book. We did the other one by the same author. The one with Matt Damon on Mars. And yeah. So I will read it and uh-oh. I mean The Martian, thank you. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, I'm not aware of it, so I'm sure Natalie actually does a lot of research into this kind of stuff, into the history of the movie and whatnot. I guess I can do some research. I don't know. I have a month to figure it out. So that's something to look into then. And with that, I'm just going to get things underway so we can just roll right through this because I am in a good writing mindset. And so let's do it again. 20 minutes on the clock. Dog is asleep. And I want to finish chapter 16 and chapter 17. Let's see if I can do it. All right, welcome back. That was the third sprint. I am almost done with chapter 17, so I'm going to just spend a couple minutes after this and finish it off. And then I'm going to go eat, and I'm going to go watch some One Piece. So all around. Oh, okay. Looking at that. Fair enough. I mean, for what's worth, I'm an old and Star Trek Next Generation is by far the best Star Trek. I've enjoyed what was it? Into the Darkness? The one about Captain Pike, Captain Piet, Captain Pike, Captain Pike. Um, those are fun. I never really got into Below Decks or the Starfleet Academy. I don't know. I don't know what Andy Weir said. I do feel like Star Trek is getting progressively worse. I absolutely hated all 3 seasons of Picard. I know that there were some people who were like, "Oh, the 3rd one makes up for all the mistakes and issues in seasons 1 and 2." I didn't like any of it, and I felt like at best it was nostalgia baiting, and at worst it was just utter nonsense and not really fun. So, yeah, I've largely given up on Star Trek because I think Into the Darkness, not Into Darkness, whatever the show that I'm thinking of, Into the Darkness, I think was a movie that they did. Whatever the Star Trek show with Pike in it, I think it finished. I don't think they're going to come out with any more seasons. And yeah, well, okay. So first of all, that's not very controversial. I mean, Star Trek has always been political. Virtually every episode was political at the time. And it was, or if not political, then outright just social commentary or just, um, yeah, a sort of mixture. It's, I don't know. Even when they were space adventures, they were still very social commentary heavy until you get to the Next Generation where they had their holodeck experiences, which are basically just fun for the actors to demonstrate their Shakespearean knowledge. So that's that. Yeah, but anyways, I will see you all next Monday. I'm going to have hopefully a relaxing week, hopefully a relaxing weekend, and I wish you all the best. So, like I said, I'm going to finish up with this chapter, and I will see you all next Monday. Have a good one and take care.